Thank you very much for your presentation, Chairperson of the Bureau of the Global Convention. Now I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Nolbazi Dasa, Deputy Director, General Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Republic of South Africa. Please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Warm welcome, a warm appreciation to the Honorable Minister of Uzbekistan for his very warm welcome to us. Thank you very much. Greetings to our APG from UNESCO. Greetings to all ministers who are in the room, fellow member states, delegates. A minor correction, I'm a DPG for the Department of Higher Education and Training. I believe the only reason why there was this minor mistake is because in the past we had two departments. We had the Minister for Science and Technology who will be joining us soon. And also one with the higher I would like to express my appreciation, my warmest appreciation for such for such a wonderful session organized today. As the APG indicated, the recognition, mutual recognition of qualifications is very critical to us. The South African presidency for G20 is still ongoing. For us in the education working group, it was so critical that for all the member states of G20, including the African Union, we decided that this was so important that it needed to be a priority too. And we had numerous debates and agreements for its importance for the future moving forward. I will try to be very brief, but the briefing that I have been given is to try and reflect on South Africa's experiences in terms of implementing the EDIS and the global convention lessons from South Africa. I think when great minds, or shall I say, people who believe in the same things, are moving the world forward, we start to converge. So forgive me when I repeat some of the very important statements that have been made since the opening remarks of for us, in the work that we have done, convention and the global convention, it was really critical and supported by UNESCO. It was very, very important that we participate in this work because both conventions represented the principles of fairness, the principles of transparency, the principles of addressing and ensuring non-discriminatory recognition of higher education qualifications and ensuring that as much as possible there is access to higher education and employment. Secondly, it was really important that we facilitated provisions. We ensured that we supported these conventions because they facilitate provisions for non-traditional learning modes and the provision of applications, prior learning, study periods, and remotely, and recognition of learning, as I mentioned before, and micro-credentials, which for us is a growing issue and which we are tackling with as much focus moving forward. The third issue for us was the fact that both conventions promoted the recognition of refugees and displaced persons' qualifications, even where documentary evidence was lacking. So that was quite important for us moving forward. This has been mentioned before, but by ratifying these conventions as South Africa, we realized that when countries do this, they commit to strengthen international and regional cooperation in higher education, and they raise the quality of home and worldwide, helping ensure academic mobility and the recognition of qualifications, and ensuring that this becomes a reality for millions around the world for study and employment. Now, I will try to be very brief about the next few pages, but in the main, what we started with is the APG indicated and our friend from UNESCO. We started with the ABIS Convention, and for us, given how we are structured as South Africa, there were certain principles that we needed to follow. The first one was consultation very widely with all of the stakeholders. And we would ensure that we brought universities, we would ensure that we also brought on board technical and vocational colleges, which is an issue we bring up later on. Secondly, we also ensured that we looked at how we would ensure that we improve capacity to implement we will improve the implementation of the work. We also, given our constitutional democracy, we also needed to also ensure that we followed the legal process of our country as a democratic state, but we needed to align that with the international law, and especially what was required by UNESCO. For example, what has just been referred to. The next issue was how we needed to then align the work that we did to submit to our cabinet. Any work that was done could not be completed without submitting to our cabinet and clusters and after that, we will then ensure that we take that to our legislative processes. We call it parliament, but sometimes we call it the legislative process. As people are aware, probably South Africa has got three spheres. We've got the legislative one, we've got the executive, and then we've got the judicial. But for this particular process, we focus on the executive. And then we will then take this to certification by DECO, which represents the international relations element, where they then enable us to work on the ratification process. And then after that, we will then follow the instrument of ratification as prescribed by UNESCO. Now, in terms of the global convention, the same was done. I will only concentrate on South Africa. I must say this was very important to us, but it takes some time. But I think that all things in the end get well. Sometimes we have some time. We started our work in 2019. I joined the department in about 2020, but we followed right the process that I've just described, so I don't want to waste time. But in the main, we have quite a lot of consultative workshops, starting from 2019, and then December 2024, we were counted as a state party. It's our history moving forward. And as I indicated, to save on time, I will not describe the similar process that we did for others. Fellow countries that have ratified others are here. We work with them. The dynamics of our country are interesting vis-a-vis our fellow African countries. If I may make an example, a comment was made that sometimes students move to the West, I think globally, but in Africa, it could be argued. I can see my fellow African member states are smiling. In Africa, students move mostly to South Africa, largely in the main. And then in trying to speed up on time, we have developed a report on the implementation of the revised Convention on the Recognition of Status, Certificates, Diplomas, Degrees, and other academic qualifications on higher education in African states, the Addis Convention. At this point in time, ADG, it is not an official report, but we are working on it. Now, what I wanted to spend some time on is that for us in South Africa, the implementation of the conventions is mainly, we use mostly the National Qualifications Framework as an enabler for facilitating the implementation. And as I indicated, I come from the department that is responsible for universities, but is also responsible for technical vocational colleges. And we are in transition in terms of curriculum. We are looking at vocational qualifications framework, because when we discussed the global convention, as we did during our South African presidency and in the education working group, we advocated for the fact that it is not only students in universities, that we would like for the discussion to be had around as teachers, lecturers, but also artisans who qualify. And that our fellow G20 states and hopefully UN would be open to, but which would be which would be within the prescripts of legal frameworks. We have learned from countries we have engaged with that the technical vocational space is also open to ensuring it is a driver for economic revitalization, entrepreneurship, and all. Now I can see the chair is rising, but in the main, the mechanisms we use for recognition of qualification is evaluation of foreign qualifications, verification of national qualifications, mutual recognition of qualification agreements, recognition of qualifications for refugees, and primarily our in space in the South African Qualifications Authority and the Qualified Councils. Those of yourselves who are part of the examination would have met my colleague Nadia Star, who is the CEO of SAPA. And given that I have run out of time, Our way forward as a proposal is that in our country, the Department of Higher Education and Training is the implementing agent for Edison Global Convention. We have established the National Ethics Convention Coordination Structure represented by SAPA and Quality Councils, DHEAD and the Department of Basic Education. We are currently reviewing the National Qualifications Act, and we are very much appreciative for the opportunity to share our experiences as South Africa in terms of implementing the Edison Global Convention. Thank you for the opportunity.